Hello, good to see you. It's June 1st, and I can't hardly believe we're halfway through the year. This is the halfway mark. It's been quite a year. I think we probably all can agree there's been a lot of things happening in 2025. And I want to actually get a little personal with you today. I don't normally do this, but as I'm reflecting on the first half of the year and my life and just some personal things in conjunction with updating the market stats for May and thinking about our real estate market and the professional side, it brings a lot of very important themes to mind. So, we are inundated with media all the time. And the media I've been hearing lately is a lot of this chatter about how incomes are not where they should be for people to buy homes and have the lifestyles that they want, especially for our children who are just starting out in their professional adult lives. They can't buy homes, that home ownership is going to be very hard for them, or it won't happen until later on in life. And it pains me to hear these things. And of course, the stats that the media promotes and uses sounds horrible, but there's a lot of information that is not being delivered with that. And so, as I'm thinking about stats, as I'm thinking about opportunities, as I'm thinking about my professional world, this makes me very passionate to get a message out to the public that speaks the other perspective to what the media is saying. So, first, let me tell you, it is this year I turned 45. Last month, my son graduated law school. So in May, it was a very busy month. We had graduation ceremonies and receptions, and it was exciting and such an amazing thing. Now, I want to actually flash back to 1999. 1999 is when I was 19 years old, and I decided I was going to buy a house. Now, who was telling me that I could buy a house at 19 years old? Absolutely no one. Not a soul thought that I could be buying a house or probably even should be buying a house. I had somebody in my family, however, who referred me to a mortgage broker. And that mortgage broker showed me what options were available to me that I could buy a house. Confirmed, yes, you can buy a house. I was approved for I think around 50, maybe 55,000 in 1999. So my budget was very, very low. I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I remember Josh and I going out house shopping, looking to see what we could afford. And they were these tiny little houses. And to be honest with you, I didn't care how small the house was because it was going to be my house. I wasn't going to be in an apartment anymore. I was going to own a house. I was so excited. So they were looking at these tiny little houses, and then they just weren't fitting for us. The locations weren't quite right. The houses weren't quite right. It just wasn't resonating. Well, one day I found on the government HUD site a foreclosure property that provided a whole lot more space, and it was just a really neat house. Now, I was fortunate that Josh comes from a family of contractors, and he's built houses and done every bit of that type of work. So I knew whatever was wrong with this house, he could take care of and fix, even at the young ages that we were. So we looked at this house, and then we made an offer. I think it was listed for like 45,000, and I bid on the property, and I said, well, I don't want to not get this house, right? So we bid 46,000. We actually overbid, and we got the house. We probably didn't need to do that. We probably could have gotten it for less. I was 19 years old. I wanted this house. So we bought our first house at the age of 19, same year, just before our son was born. And now our son is graduating law school and starting his professional career as a lawyer in South Florida. So that all brings together and culminates this thought about his journey now and the world we live in today. And what I see today is there are a lot more opportunities as far as the mortgage options that are available to people. So I think that, there's a lot of possibilities there. There are a lot of loans that you don't have to have a lot out of pocket. We have an environment right now where sellers are more motivated because the supply is so high and the demand is so low. So a young person can very, very much buy a house with no money out of pocket. So then why are we saying that home ownership is not possible? Why are we saying that the journey, yes, it might be a little more challenging. Yes, we might have to get a bit more strategic, but it is possible. If I was doing it again today, I guarantee you I would do it. I will help my son, because that first house parlayed into money, that wealth that I wouldn't have had to allow me to buy the next house, to allow me to move up in life in ways I couldn't have done had I been spending my money renting, giving my money to a landlord, which is the alternative. So I'm very passionate about this, and I felt like with all of these things that are happening in my life today and thinking back to how I got here, that story I feel like is very powerful. And I want to help as many young people as possible to achieve homeownership. Now, in our area, we are very lucky. We have USDA loans that we can use anywhere. A lot of locations, it's certain portions of the county or areas of the county that are USDA approved. Our entire county is. So USDA is the loan that is income specific, family size, and no down payment. So that can really help a young family to get into home ownership. So it's a really important thing, I feel, and it's a really something that's really special here in America, that people can own homes and have the freedom and the control of what their life looks like from that safety and security aspect. So if this is something that somebody who could benefit from some support counseling in this area, I would love to help strategize, point people in the right direction, because that is the first thing, is assembling the team, knowing where to go, who the experts that can help you achieve these dreams and goals, and it can be done. So please hear past the noise of, oh, it's impossible today, incomes aren't this, and all the naysayers, and know that it is possible, and we're here to help you. So with all that being said, let's talk about what the market looks like today. And we are having the same theme. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because inventory is increasing. That the buyers out there, there's just not enough of them to keep up with the inventory. So we are in that buyer's market now, where buyers are able to make demands and negotiate price. You have to know when you list your house that you're not going to get full list price in most cases, right? And buyers, that you have the opportunity to try to negotiate and whatever's most important to you. So be strategic with that. It's a great opportunity for buyers to get some really good results. So I'll show you the market stats here quickly, and then just go over a couple of things. So I think what's most important to look at here is that our median prices have come down slightly. So you're seeing that softening of price, and a lot of that is because sellers are having to do price improvements like we've talked about. On the average days on market column, you'll see the bolded numbers are the days on market that have increased since last month. So as we look at this, we can see days on market are going up. So we have prices softening. I don't want to say they're coming down. They're not on the decline per se. They're just adjusting, correcting. They're having to move softer to where buyers are more attracted to the property. So it's not this negative, oh my gosh, our home values are less. But if you're selling, you have to be prepared to be negotiable. I think that's kind of the key. But you can see that, and you can see that days on market are ticking upward, which is expected. Now, in the last few weeks, we have seen a bit of a surge in activity for what we had been tracking. So that's a great development that's happened recently. So we may see the days on market start to reduce ever so slightly as well, just because of that activity. So don't feel, if you're selling your house, don't feel like it's doomsday and it's going to be really tough. Yes, you have to be prepared that you're going to have to ride out a bit of time, more than what we are used to, but overall it is, it's a decent market. You don't have to be fearful of the market. You just have to have a good strategy. So lately I've been doing some strategies depending on timelines for sellers, where we define in our listing contract the price that we start at, of course, and then price improvements at different points in time. So this way, we're not sitting too long on the market. It's an automatic thing. When that date hits, we are going to make that price drop. So that's a strategy that might be fitting for different circumstances depending on what your timelines and your goals are. So there's a lot of different ways to navigate the market that we have, and we love to strategize with you if we can help you in that, in any way. So RES Luxury Group, we bring you white glove service and red carpet treatment because your satisfaction is our guarantee. We're always here to assist, to talk strategy, or just chat. So feel free to give us a call, 352-794-1426. Have a great day.